Hello guys, in today's video we are analyzing some games from the FIDE World Rapid and Team Rapid and Blitz Championship. So we today they played the Blitz Knockouts round of 16, where there were a lot of interesting games. But I'm gonna today cover a very interesting 130 move game from Arjun versus Grischuk. It was a very interesting endgame, and yeah. So Arjun went with d4, knight f6, c4, g6. So they played King's Indian defense, knight c3, d5, so a Grinfeld, bishop g5, bishop g7, takes in cd5. This is all pretty common theory. Rook c1, not the main move. e4 is considered to be the main move. Castles, e3, takes, bishop d3, knight c6, f4. So yeah, here what is he doing? What is Arjun doing? He's actually just stopping e5 and kind of gaining a lot of space, and they're always like he can try to go g4, h4 with some mating threats sometimes. So for now he's just developing normally, bishop d7, g4, so it already starts. So here Grischuk should have checked Arjun, and because now Arjun kind of has to he has to play a pawn cloud, has to go either on d2 or e5 is the best move, but that is kind of hard to make. But this is pretty hard to play for black. So he goes rook c8, which is a pretty normal move, but now already h4, and look at these pawns, like, here white cannot be worse, there's not a theory where he's worse. Here, so attacking the pawn, he protects it, bishop g7, h5, trying to open up some files like this, maybe. e5 is now played, kind of attacking this one. If he takes on e5, takes with tempo, queen d8, d5, bishop g4, everything pretty normal. Bishop g4, bishop e4, and now look at this position. The two beautiful white knight, not this one is beautiful, this one isn't that much, but it can join the attack with knight g5 and then just queen h2 with some mating threats. Bishop e6, knight g5, pretty normal move. Knight e5, a nice tactic spotted by Grischuk pretty quickly. Rook c8, bishop c8, because after queen c8 there is knight e7, even checkmate. So he has to take like this, rook h7, which is a big blunder. Here the computer suggests rook h8 sacrificing the rook and going queen h2, because mate is unstoppable actually. Here, and this is mate because the knight guards this square. So he has to go queen g5. Very nice idea suggested by the engine, but yeah. Knight g4, there were two moves, f6 and knight g4. Knight g4 is the better one. He found it pretty quickly. Not quickly, but found it. Rook e8, and he goes for trying. He sacrificed the knight here and thought that this is easily winning, but it isn't actually. What he should have done is just sacrifice like this. It's much easier. Maybe he was fearing like this, maybe, but like after b4 only move, by the way. And after he takes, just bishop f7 wins. And if you, because this is the tempo, after king e2, now check, and if you go back, knight e3 and you lose. So you have, if you go up, there's queen f1. So you have to go into this, and this is draw, or he can play even for a win, but this shouldn't be really done, but So knight f7, king f7, bishop g6. I wonder why he went here. Like, king g8 is much more logical, but probably he feared... I don't know what he feared. Because he can't go queen g6. I don't know. King f8. Takes. Queen c7, kind of going with these two pieces on the 7th rank, and they're always 2 rooks, 2 queens, a queen and a rook. It's always, these are very dangerous. Always. Check. Rook h3. He wants to go here. King f7 back. f5, just giving that pawn away for free, but he was hoping for some kind of counterplay like this probably. And where queen c8 would have been the only move. But this is quite dangerous to play, especially when you have like 5 seconds on the clock. Rook h7, the best move here. King g8, he sacrifices the rook, sees that this is winning. But it's not that simple. Puts him back. He's like pretty low on time, 7 seconds and 2 seconds every move he makes. So they kind of shuffle around. And knight e7, and he takes the knight. And now this is a pretty simple win, like you may think, because two passed pawns. But it's not that simple. Queen h5, trying some kind of perpetual. King d2. Queen f3, kind of like trying to pin both of the pieces to protect the pawn. Queen f4, takes, king g7, and now king e3, a big blunder. What should have been done is go here. And you may ask me why. Why would you go here? Because now this is easier winning, because the king can never go here. And the f6 is a very important square. And after he went here, now he can take with the king. And now it's harder to kick the king out the f5 square. So now they just shuffled around, and now king f6, a big blunder. He should have went here, because now you have now you can easier defend. Because after this, knight d4, but after this you have here. So the idea is to actually try and go up here, and king e4 stops that, and then check, trying to get there, and now king d4. And now this is a draw, but it's very hard for black, especially in time trouble. King f6, a pretty logical move that I'd probably make as well. Knight d4, bishop e8, he's just waiting really. He cannot really do anything smarter. And now knight e6. And now king e6 would have been a nice move, because now if you take, you go here. And you're gonna draw this. You cannot win this because of the wrong bishop, because the pawn promotes on the e1 square, which is black. And if you go like here, king d7, here, and now the knight is actually almost trapped. And until he gets back, the king is getting close enough to actually enter the b3 square. And if you try to protect it, just check you. And this is a draw, because even if you get, because now this one falls as well, if you try to take everything, just bishop e5, and this is actually a draw, but again, it's pretty tough to find in a very big time square. b6, pretty normal stuff. Bishop e1, again, king e6, and not letting knight c6. So yeah, king d4. King d4 would have been the main line, king d6, and this is close to a draw, but it's still like not simple at all. Bishop b1, another blunder. Dungeon's just showing a blunder every single like third move. Here, back, now knight c6, king d5 was accurate, because again you just enter these squares, and not king c4 here, by the way, but just b4. But again, this he shows it's a draw. Again, it's pretty tough. King d6, knight e5, king d5, it's finally played. b4, bishop h7, just waiting, because now he cannot really break turn. Waiting, because if you you have to go here, because if you went here, then knight c5 is kind of trickier, because here you can kind of defend the pawns easier. Bishop c8, protecting, and now we will go into this positions, which is theoretically a draw. So yeah, he just waits because it's impossible to break through. Now they just shuffle around. Erigaisi trying to find the perfect square for the knight, and then going in with the king, which he does perfectly. Then the king is on a great square, and it can just go up. Here it wouldn't have been accurate to go here because then king c7 and kind of blocked you, so he went up. So now he's really just building up time, playing as quickly as possible, trying to get some time. And as you can see, he got to 25 seconds. And now he thought for a little bit and went knight f4. He still couldn't construct a plan. Bishop e2, knight e2, still like nothing's happening. Knight a5. In d6, we already reached the 100 move, by the way. Knight c5. And now the important thing to note is that now we gone into this opposition, which is now very easy for white to like make progress. Say if you just wait like here, then it's kind of, you got breakthrough and it's still a draw, but like it's easier to make a mistake. So here of course you cannot stake because this is a lost endgame. This is a lost endgame because he outstumbles you. Here, so more waiting really. Bishop c8, the bishop f1. The losing blunder actually, because if you went here, it's a draw because you can defend. But here, if you try to do the same thing, now you go here. And after this, say, or whatever, knight d5 and knight c7 is a big threat, which happened in the game. But what if you just waited? Why did he check? Knight d5 again, and knight c7 getting you out of here. Wow. A big blunder, and this wouldn't have happened if you actually went to d7. Because now you can go to c6, and if he tries to get you out, you just go back. So, yeah. Because now you're kind of zugzwanged as well. So he takes the pawn, knight c3, bishop d3, b5, just pushing the pawns. That simple. Check, king c6, great technique shown by Erigaisi. b7, bishop g2, now trying, but king b8, and after king a6, king a8, and Erigaisi won, even though this shows a draw. He won. So in the end, he got a lot of time somehow. I'm not so sure how. Maybe an illegal move. Probably an illegal move, right? Maybe one here. I don't know. Shows 13 seconds and then 2 minutes somehow. Probably an illegal move. Yeah. So, yeah, that was a pretty fun game. Let me show you. There was a match of 2. There was always a match of 2, so everyone can play white and black. Here, Grischuk was black. He went with e4, and Erigaisi went for French. d4, d5, e5, c5, everything normal. Knight g7, not the most accurate move. Probably more accurate if you want to go for those setups is bishop d7, because now white has to waste the tempo, bishop e2 or a3. Bishop e2 is considered a little bit better. Knight g7, and now after cd, sorry, knight f5, knight c2. Now we enter this position where you have to waste another tempo with the bishop to get to d3. But here you didn't waste it, and now the bishop will come to d3 in one move. But this c4 is very interesting. Bishop e2, Grischuk knew what was the best move. h4 and f4. So these are kind of normal things that can happen in the French. f6 is a great idea against these setups. f6 whenever you get the bishop is here. Bishop e3. Kind of keeping the tension in the center. Knight e1 and b4. Note that Erigaisi probably knew all of this because he was still on 3 minutes, so he didn't waste any time. Takes a lot of time wasted and still not even close to the best move. Bishop c5. Kind of, he just wants to trade pieces because he lacks a bit of space, which just makes sense. But knight d4, and now what we have here is this strong square, and it's kind of hard to break through, like with on the queen side. While slowly but surely, white is gonna mate you, more or less. a3, f1, threatening f5, and he went c3, trying to force something on the b file. Rook d2, bishop d3. Could have won bishop g6, that kind of could have made it a nice game, but okay. Bishop d3, f5, we went for the slow, not slow, but slower kill. And after this, check, and rook g7, taking complete. So, yeah, that would be it for today. I hope you enjoyed this analysis and that you learned something. So, yeah. If you like this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And, yeah. Bye.